Ah,
Good morning. Oh, we're not supposed
good
to say good
morning.
morning. I'm sorry. Because
Well,
people
we know
listen
we can
at
do good
all
morning.
times of the day.
Good at all times of the day. I like that. It is Kurt and Jen. Welcome to our podcast. As always, if you enjoy, well, we know what people enjoy, right? I mean, is that being cocky?
No,
All
I
right.
mean,
Like,
hopefully, if you're here, the reason you're here is because you enjoy it and we enjoy
right.
you.
We'd like you to like or follow or love or subscribe, all those things to help the show grow. Thank you very much. If you've already done that, and good any time of day.
Kurt, I
Yes,
don't need,
ma'am.
I can't,
What
this,
happened?
we're recording the show late because Kurt wanted to sleep in a little bit. I'm just going to start there.
Hmm.
Second, my computer is not working. It is not allowing me to pull up what we talked about, like our little prep sheet. I can't
Oh,
see it. Not letting
okay.
me.
All right. Then, well, you know a lot of this stuff.
Oh, here we go. I did it. I figured it
Okay.
out. Jeez Louise. All right.
th- th-
Here we go,
let's
party
jump
people.
in. A happy last day of July 2024, right?
Crazy. We're gonna be in August tomorrow.
Yeah, we're well over halfway through the year, and that is bizarre. But hopefully, you're having a good July 31st. I wanted to share we talked about this yesterday after the show about running an orange light. We all refer to it as an orange light, right?
I refer to it as pink. Yeah,
Pink
that was pink.
between red and yellow is pink.
Yeah.
I just want to find out if I'm the only one that does this.
Okay, tell me.
Um, so you're like and this only accounts, well, I guess here it is. You approach the light, it's kind of sketch. You're like, oh man, that's gonna be close. Do I go through it? Do I not? You go ahead and you go through it, and then you see in your rearview mirror that somebody else went through it. Does that make you think, okay, that was okay that I did that?
Yes. Oh, well, they ran the red. They ran that light was way redder for them. That was
It
that.
almost it almost feels like if the police are watching, they're going to get that person instead of you. So you're like,
Yes.
oh, I'm in the clear.
So dumb.
All right, that's I wanted to find out if I because I'm like right away in the mirror. Oh, okay, I'm fine. Which I'm sure that I'm not if I
Oh,
was seen by the right officer. But okay, so that's just not me. The old orange. Oh yeah, and we
we
wanted
went
to
to
share
trivia
the
last night.
trivia. We go to Sean O'Donnell's in the Everett location for trivia on Tuesday nights. We
Yep.
we actually fell back a little bit this time, so this is our third trivia night.
We did
First
not do well.
first I think the first time we came in like 12th out of 17. Then the last time we played prior to last night, we were like up to, I think, eighth or seventh. So that was pretty good. And then last night we didn't make the top 10. So, but we did have an awesome new team name. Do you remember what our original team name was?
Well, we thought we had a great team name, but then Sean O'Donnell, who also hosts, owner of the restaurant and host trivia,
Mm-hmm.
told us I liked your other name better. So we started as Whiskey Business.
Whiskey Business. That was good. And
And then
then
we transitioned last night. We thought, well, we're going to change things up and change our name to Bourbon
Bourbon
Legend.
Legends. Yes. So which Randy and I kind of came up with together. I was like, we should be Bourbon Myths. And he's like, Bourbon Legends.
As in
So
Bourbon
anyway.
Legend, but bourbon.
But then at the end of the night, Sean was like, "Oh, I liked whiskey business better, so we might have to switch back." Anyway, the new name did not help us win, so perhaps he's right.
And can I just say congratulations to Sean O'Donnell for a new he has a new granddaughter born
He's a grandpa
yesterday.
again. Yes. Well, it was
Pretty cool.
Bridget. Bridget was her name, and
Yes.
and he told me, and I related to you guys. Like, "Oh yeah, baby was 9 pounds 12 ounces," and you're like, "Whoa!" I'm like,
That's
"Is
a
that
big
big?"
baby.
That's a big baby, evidently. So,
It's a big
congrats
baby.
again
And
to
he did
Sean.
shots in the whole bar. Like I've never experienced that where someone says, drinks for everyone or, drinks for the house. And he did that to celebrate his
That's what
granddaughter.
it was. Yeah. Well, when you're the owner, you can do that. We were just the right place, right time last night that we all got a shot of some Irish whiskey
Crazy.
for the birth of Bridget. So
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I have to tell you this, I just want to like a little life experience. So I went for one of those. Do you ever get those? I forget what it's called, like lifeline screenings. They come into different cities and they do they figure out if you've got like heart issues or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, but do they come like go around in a truck or something like that?
Well, they go to different like buildings, I guess. Like
Okay.
sometimes it's a hotel or sometimes it's whatever, like an office building
Okay.
or an
So
event
you went to
space.
one of these.
I went to one of them yesterday.
All right.
Um, and I was waiting my turn to go in, and this dude random dude. His age might be important here. I want to say he's probably our age, mid 50s, maybe
Okay.
older, I don't know. He's reading the newspaper, right? And he looks over at me and he's like, "Have you ever gotten a colonoscopy?" Like, and I'm not there for a colonoscopy. I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "How many have you gotten?" Like, "One." Well, I'm like thinking to myself, why am I talking about my butt to a stranger? And he's
I wonder if he was trying to figure out your age because you don't get your first colonoscopy till you're 50, right?
no, he wasn't hurt because he's like, there's an article in the paper right here that says the FDA approved blood tests for colonoscopy to detect colon cancer. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. That's
Hmm.
big. And he's like, yeah, I haven't had a colonoscopy yet. And I said, oh, well, I mean, they're good to get just because it tells you a lot. And he says, yeah, my mom died of colon cancer. I'm like, dude, that now I'm talking to a stranger and I'm getting on my soapbox. Your mom died of colon cancer and yet you have not gotten your colonoscopy. You're crazy. He's like, I am crazy, aren't I? I'm like, yes, go get your
Well, I think that
colonoscopy.
the whole conversation with a new person he just met, I'm like everything you say, I'm like, okay, where's the pickup line? When's the pickup line coming?
No,
You
there
know,
isn't one. And he
yeah,
was still waiting for his turn when I was totally done and I'm walking out and I looked at him and he looked at me as I'm walking out. I'm like, go get your colonoscopy.
you would, yes. Do it right now. Did he ever share what he was at the place for, or just his screening? I
No,
guess. Yeah.
they're there for like the screening people are there for like you can get an ultrasound for your arteries and your heart and your
Okay.
like the blood pressure to they test for like blood clots. I don't know if it's legit or not. I'm like, I don't know. I did it
Well,
just
you tried it.
Pat
Are
gets
you
firefighter boyfriend Pat gets a lot of those tests done, and I think it comes with the territory of being a firefighter. Like they really try to monitor their health. So he
right?
gets all these super cool tests done through his insurance that I don't get. I'm like, I want that. Like the blood test that he gets is crazy. Like they tell them so much, they test for
Mm-hmm.
everything. Anyway,
Right.
okay, that's all.
Always. That's the
Sorry.
life. Then life of Jen. My crazy life. Jen's crazy life. JCL. Right.
Yeah, recap the Olympics for us, Curt.
Well, what happened is what we hoped would happen. The Olympics with the finals for the gymnastics team, the women's gymnastics team, gold. Yeah. Simone Biles, of course, led the way, and it was a kind of a big deal. As you remember, last Olympics in Tokyo, she sort of dropped out. She got something we all learned what the twisties were and how that was a big deal. And so she dropped out, and we ended up with silver. The U.S. got silver last time. So taking the gold back was a big deal. It also made Simone Biles the most decorated American gymnast in history with 8 Olympic medals. She had been tied with Shannon Miller. You remember Shannon Miller, also a great
Yeah,
gymnast.
wow. I would need to look her
Uh,
up. I barely remember her. You know who I remember the most is
Mary Lou Retton.
yes, on the
Hmm.
Wheaties box.
Yes. So only one gold for Team USA on Tuesday, which would have been that one. So US ended the day still trailing. We've got 4 golds total. Japan led with 7.
Oh,
And we did extend our leave hour. I'm like, okay, I'm going to say hour. The U.S. did extend its lead in the overall medal count. So doing all right.
okay. So then there was something that said who is the greatest summer Olympian of all time? Like America got to vote. There's this big survey out for
The
people.
greatest summer, we'll give people a second to think about it. So the greatest summer Olympian of all time. And when you hear the list, I mean, it goes back a ways.
Yeah,
Uh,
list them
so,
out. List them out for us.
well, we'll go, you know, who got some votes? Katie Ledecky. It's still till early, a little early for her, but she's such. I mean, have you seen the
He's,
video? She's a swimmer,
yeah.
Katie Ledecky. They showed. I think she was doing a 1500 meter, and she was so far ahead. She was like lapping other swimmers, and these are all Olympic level athletes, and she is that much. So anyway, people said, you know, Katie Ledecky, also Mark Spitz, who was a legendary swimmer in the 70s, Mary Lou Retton
Yep.
came in, I think, about 5th on the list. And again, this is the greatest summer Olympians of all time. Carl Lewis was on there. People
A
forget about
runner.
Carl Lewis. He got a bunch of gold medals. Jesse Owens
Also a
got
runner, right?
what's that? Yeah. And from you know what? I'm gonna blow it because I don't know. He was, I mean, I'm gonna say 50s, 60s. I'm gonna get in trouble. Maybe it was before that. But so the top three were Jesse Owens came in third. Simone Biles was considered the second greatest summer Olympian of all time.
She's so top of mind, especially right now.
Right. And that's probably going to change in time. Michael Phelps.
Is number
Michael
one.
Phelps got the most votes, the greatest summer Olympian of all time. And
Hot
it's neat.
smoking Michael Phelps.
Yes, and it's neat to see his take on, when he as a commentator, he knows so much about the sport, and he's so into it still, which is fun to see him commentating on the swimmers. And we've done some pretty good things in the pool this year too. So that is our Olympic stuff for you.
I need to watch more of the Olympics. I'm kind of disappointed. I used to watch the Olympics all the time. My mom, when the Olympics were on when I was little, would have that on all the time, and we did that. And I just don't have a lot of time for TV. Anyway, okay. I love
Now
that you. I love that you put this part in.
Well, this is more on the Olympics,
right?
Because it's an Olympics promotion. Hopefully you hear this podcast earlier in the day, because Krispy Kreme, as part of their what they're calling a Go for the Glaze Olympics promotion, $1 donuts, any type, Krispy Kreme stores, no limit, while supplies last today.
Yes, please, yummy, and thank you.
Go for the Glaze. So we always say, are we going to Krispy Kreme after the program today?
We used to say that, and I would say yes, except for we're remote today.
And the Krispy Kreme's kind of far. When it was Top Pot, it was like, oh, it's just down the street. We're going to go to that.
Krispy Kreme, our closest, what, Issaquah?
That's probably true.
No,
yeah.
That's not true. It's either Issaquah or it's like that shoreline North Seattle area.
North Seattle one, yeah. So sorry, we're getting a little bit too.
I know.
Well, wherever you are, hopefully there's a Krispy Kreme close to you.
Yeah. Rob Lowe, who is still really hot, by the way, because when I watched that whole Rat Pack or
Rat Pack, right.
documentary, I'm like, Rob Lowe, way to age, man. You are looking good.
That is a good looking human being right there. No question about that. I know you brought that up because he has just recently teased that there could be in the near future a St. Elmo's Fire sequel, to which I say I've not even seen the first one. So
I don't know that I have either. I think I've seen like bits and pieces of it, but I don't know that I've watched the whole movie.
So he was talking with Entertainment Tonight. 1985 is when St. Elmo's Fire first came out, and I'm going to read the exact quote. According to Rob Lowe, St. Elmo's Fire follow-up is in the very, 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 very early stages of development. That was 5 berries. Yeah. We have the starring, let me see, who was in the original? Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez, Demi Moore,
Judd Nelson, Ali Sheedy, Andrew McCarthy. Or McCarthy.
Andrew McCarthy, right. And he was the one that did that Brat Pack movie that you just saw recently, and he is one of the ones saying it says that it isn't clear which other original stars could return, but Andrew McCarthy previously told People magazine he was interested in the idea. So you've got at least
because he has got nothing else going on.
That might be true.
I don't mean to be rude, however.
So we'll see if that St. Elmo's Fire sequel happens.
Okay, you were excited about this. We always talk about, like, when we're talking about plane etiquette, we usually are talking about like who gets the armrest.
Who gets the armrests? Right, that's a big one. Who gets the armrests?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It is a clear line in the sand. The person that gets to control the window shade is the person that has the window seat. Period. End of story. That is all. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is according to this person, who is not named, but is a multi-million-mile frequent flyer. So this person is a multi-million-mile frequent flyer. I think it was on American. They've got some experience with this, and they said they've solved which traveler in the row gets to control the window shade on a plane. It's simple. The person closest to the window, the person in the window seat in every row, gets to control the shade.
Unless the flight attendant says it's time to open the window shades because we are going to prepare for landing.
Well, then they also still have to do it. They're in charge of that. However, there was a flight attendant that chimed in and said also, you know what? If you're in a row, and let's say, and this flight attendant also said, I'm a firm believer the person sitting in the window has the control of the window shade. But if there's circumstances, like if there's a kid sitting on the aisle or something, and they want to look out the window, I think that the window seat person should consider that and say, okay, I'll open the shade for a kid or whatever. So I guess it's basically saying cooperate, don't be a jerk.
Or get the window seat if it's really that important to you.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay. Well, this article also said you might have to pay more for a window seat. You don't, do you?
Yeah, some airlines charge more for different kinds of seats.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we just both talked about it. When you travel with Pat, when I travel with Dana, we reserve the aisle and the window, hoping
Hoping that
that
no
nobody
one,
takes the middle seat.
it's
But then
exactly
somebody
right.
does take, you know, I was like, hey, would you like to swap out? And of course, they're, yeah, we want the aisle or we want the window. So we still get to sit with our loved ones. Speaking of loved ones.
Yeah. So I was reading this article
Mm-hmm.
and this person was saying there's one thing that you should always include in your vacation photos, just one thing.
And I'm thinking, okay, what is it? Is it a palm tree or a drink in your hand? Nope.
Here's the thing. There are beautiful panoramic views that you can take pictures of,
Yeah.
but you need to have people in them.
Your
Put
loved
yourself
ones.
and your loved ones in that photo with that backdrop, because when you go back and look through those pictures, if you're just looking at like monuments and
Mm-hmm.
scenery and all that with nobody in it, it's not going to mean as much. You want the people in the photo, and I'm a big believer in that, so I just wanted to pass that along. I felt validated. I'm like, yes, people,
Well,
put the people in the photos.
I don't completely disagree, but I have a story about this because when I was taking photography class. I was seventh grade, junior high, photography, and I've got a Pentax
Oh my
K1000
God.
camera, something like that. I forget. And so we got a vacation coming up, and my mom's like, hey, you know, you should take the photos in this vacation. You're gonna be in charge of taking the photos because, you know, and it'll help out with your class, blah, blah, blah. I did nothing but scenic shots. Oh, this is a great shot. And so we got back, and this is back when you had to get photos developed. So you wait a couple weeks or whatever. And there was no picture with people in it. And my mom was pissed. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, well, look at that was a nice scenic shot. So anyway,
But that's the whole point that this about this article, right? There are professional photographers that capture the scenery that you're looking at in the most beautiful way possible. So buy the
mm-hmm,
postcard for that.
mm-hmm.
Take pictures with your loved ones.
I like it.
All right.
I like it.
Speaking of scenery and all the fun things that you can take pictures of, hidden gems in Washington.
Thank you for participating, everyone, because a lot of people chimed in on this. Yesterday, you were mentioning the 8 caves at Mount St. Helens, and you never heard of them, or you would assume there'd be caves with apes in them, which is what I thought too. Oh, cool, there's caves with apes.
But it's not.
No,
It's just this really cool cave under in Mount St. Helens that
right.
my friend Jeannie was telling me about. She and her daughter had just gotten back
Mhm.
from a little trip there.
And
And I'm like, okay, I'm putting that on my list. That sounds really cool. And
and then
that
you
just
thought,
got, yeah, you and me thinking like, what else is out there? Because we
we need more things for our list. So not just the 8 caves. The question was share your hidden gems in Washington, please. And a lot of people did. Marilyn actually said, agreed with you, 8 caves, which is we were looking for things besides that, but thank you, Marilyn.
and I don't know if
We
it's MC or Mick. We can't
okay.
decide. We're going with MC.
Oh, this is because okay, this the MC is a outdoor enthusiast, so he says there are no hidden gems in Washington. Everyone should stay indoors.
Like
Basically,
let me just be outside by myself and don't disturb me. You y'all stay inside.
right? Or that there's always that thing where you find a great spot and you're like, man, this is magnificent, and all of a sudden there's 40 people there, like, hey, taking pictures. And so he's trying to hog it off for himself. Thank you, MC. Go
Laurel
ahead.
talked about those the six trolls that you can find. Like there's one in Issaquah on Bainbridge Island. There's supposedly one in, oh yeah, in Ballard. That's right, Ballard, Vashon. So, and then I think that Portland is the one that's farthest out. So you go on the
Right.
scavenger hunt and find all these big wood trolls.
That they've carved out of trees
I
or
think
into the trees.
I can't remember if I don't think they're carved into the tree. I
You're
don't
right.
think
Well,
so.
here's
I
a
think,
giant one. The photo, which unfortunately couldn't include, but if you go to Curt and Jen, which one? Our Facebook page.
yeah,
There's a photo of this troll, this giant troll. He's standing between two trees. Looks like he's holding him up.
it looks so
Corey
cool. They're so cool.
Corey offered, is it Shishi Beach
I'm going with that. That's what I would say.
and Point of the Arches, and then he said Ruby Beach. He had a lot of them on here, and the Cape Flattery Lighthouse. All right, so there's a
Corey's
bunch.
a she.
Okay, I'm sorry, I should say they, right? Um,
She's a she.
how do you know? Do you know Corey?
I know Corey. And then
Okay.
and then Dorothy, who I also know, said to Corey, there's also a lighthouse on Cape Disappointment near Long Beach.
Oh, I just did an appearance, a gig in Long Beach about 3 months ago. I've never been there before. What an amazing little town.
You
Long
guys,
Beach.
if seriously, if you want some ideas of where to go in Washington, this is a great list. Go to Curt and Jen's Facebook page on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook
Hmm.
page. Yes.
Do you want to share any of the other ones, or are we done?
No, I gotta look this up. Kayla said espresso
Espresso
chalet.
Chalet.
Uh,
Michelle said Alderbrook Resort and Spa, which is fantastic. Anissa, Chuckanut Drive. You can't go wrong there. Just driving Chuckanut Drive and the Trainwreck Bar and Grill.
I've done both those. Those are in Pat's Hood. Those
Oh,
places are
okay.
in Pat's Hood.
All
And
right.
so I want to get more information on this. My friend Jen said, "Oh my gosh, girlfriend, I just discovered this fun trail on Camino that has an option for a crazy gnome trail to take to finish it off. It was so fun, eerie, and weird."
I
Yes, I
love it.
want details, Jen, and so does Lindsay. Lindsay said, "I want more info too."
Randy loves Hurricane Ridge. That's a good suggestion. Heather said, if we tell you, they won't be hidden gems anymore. Thanks, Heather.
I know. Thank you, Heather. I
She's
went
got
to
a
high
great
school.
secret.
I went to high school with Heather, and she hasn't changed.
Leslie Ann says Lake Crescent, Artist Point is beautiful in August for the wildflowers and October for fall colors.
And Nicole, Strawberry Mountain.
Okay.
And let's see. And then Becky said Summer Falls in Cooley City. It's a large artificial waterfall in Washington. And I looked at a picture of that one. It's beautiful.
Is that where you're going starting tomorrow?
No, starting tomorrow, I mean, I guess it's I don't know if we go through Cooley City. We're
To
going to
get
Lake
to
Roosevelt. I've heard so many people talk about Lake Roosevelt, and everyone keeps asking me, "Oh, are you staying on a lake house or boat house or something like that?" I'm like, "No, we're not doing that. We're RVing it, and we're going to be in the water a lot because we're going to be on the lake."
right.
But Lake Roosevelt, yes, I'm going for the first time. I'm super excited.
Okay. Ooh, that should be on the list as well. So, and you can still add to that if you feel like it. We would love to know your suggestions for where to go. These hidden treasures, hidden gems in Washington. And if you don't want to share, you don't have to write, I'm not going to share. Heather.
I do love Heather's. I mean, she is right. If I tell you they're not hidden anymore,
Right.
awesome.
All right. You want to wrap up with, we got a couple more fun things on here.
Yeah, Curt, this is all you. Go.
The new report out on snacking.
Yes.
The fact that there's actually a report on snacking is kind of a sad commentary. Found that the average person skips 3 meals a week.
Skips 3 meals a week?
Well, that's part of it. I don't skip meals. You know what, but it turns out so the average person also eats 3 snacks every day, with chips and fruit being the most popular choices. All right. So sometimes I think the snack ends up counting as a meal, which it shouldn't. But so maybe I do skip a meal every now and again. So chips and fruit, most popular choices. Crackers were next, followed by cookies and ice cream.
Curt, you said you snack more than when you found this little nugget of information, you're like, only 3 a
Yeah, this is
day. I do
low.
way
This
more
is
than
low.
that.
Well, since we're, as we call it in the industry, between gigs right now, and I'm spending more time at home than I used to, I have to be careful about that because it's very easy to go, oh, commercial break in the Olympics. Hey, some pretzels, so I got to be careful about that. And I don't always snack healthily. If there's fruit around, I will have it, but it's not here often enough. And I'm going to get in trouble with Dana for saying that because she's like, "What about the fruit bowl? It's right there."
Fruit's good for you. It provides fiber. Okay.
Thanks, Jen.
Curt, you asked me, Jen, have you ever looked up an acronym? I'm like, are you kidding me? I feel like I look up that kind of stuff almost daily. Like, oh, what does this stand for?
Right. The acronyms meaning, particularly like these are acronyms, internet speak acronyms, which is, I mean, I
Texting.
guess, right.
Texting.
I guess the, maybe the most popular one is LOL, like laugh out loud, or LMFAO, those kind of things that have now become part of the vernacular. Well, many of these are now part of the regular vernacular. They found the top acronyms that and we could say you and I too, because we do this a lot, the top acronyms that we've Googled to find out, hey, what does this mean? How you're reading something along, maybe it's a something on Facebook or social media somehow, and somebody drops in, by the way, don't talk to this person. They're XFL and NPR or whatever. And you're like, oh, what the heck does that mean? So
then I go to Google and look it up. But what I think the thing that's bringing this up is right now what's really trending is LWKY, which is not even an acronym because there's not something for every letter.
LW, like we know, LWK, what is it?
LWKY, low key. Low key.
Oh, well, you're right. That should just be LK.
Right, but it's not. It's LWKY.
Okay. All right. We're
So that
keeping it
ruins
low
it.
key. We're
What
keeping
are
it
some of the other ones? YOLO,
LWKY.
you only live once. TBH, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
this is actual. We have the most Googled acronyms over the years was what we're looking at right here.
yeah.
So we should say,
FOMO. You're
and we know a lot of these, but even when we looked at this list, I don't know some of these. So FML was short for F My Life.
I know that one.
I figured that one out on my own because I'm smart
I
like
didn't know
that.
FTW for the win.
Right. But, and sometimes it's to how they use it in the sentence. So if they go Jen Pirak, FTW, it's like, okay, based on what the story was, you might be able to figure it out. But that's for the win. SMH is obviously shaking my head. And you said YOLO, you only live once. OOTD.
If someone would have put that in a text to me, even if they had a picture with it, I'd still have to look it up. Outfit of the day.
OOTD.
No.
All right.
What?
One of the most Googled acronyms is TBH, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
It's actually kind of fun to try to figure them out if you don't know them, but
This
I
one
wouldn't have known that one.
Kurt, I don't get this one. Seriously? 1437.
Oh, that originally was just 143. That one I knew because I was playing the song It's They'll Call Me Casino. Remember I was out there like every Friday and Saturday night for 2 years DJing.
Yeah.
143 was a song by Ray J called 143, and I even had to ask. And this is, back when we had pagers. I don't think they still had pagers then, but the one is it has one letter, right? Love has four letters, and you has three. So I love you is
What
143.
the heck?
I know. I'm not saying it's a genius thing or
So I
anything.
love you
That's
forever because forever has 7 letters. So if I
yeah.
put to Pat 1437, I bet he's going to be like, is this how much I owe you for something? Like, what is
Really?
it?
What'd you spend $1,400 on?
Or it could be I forgot the period or the little decimal point and it's $14.37, Kurt.
Or I love you forever, obviously.
Duh.
All right. We also had WYD, what you doing? TFW, that feeling when? I don't know that one.
Are people knowing? I want to know, are you knowing these? Like people that were, if you're
Yeah.
listening, you
Yeah,
know
and you
these?
feel free if you have other ones that that we haven't hit here. FOMO, fear of missing out is a big one.
I don't like this one. If the IYKYK, if you
If
know,
you
you
know,
know.
you know.
I don't like that because sometimes I don't know, but I want to know. So tell me.
What would I? You have to come up with your own. IDKBIWK. I don't know, but I want to know.
Yeah.
That's yours, okay? You
Okay.
respond with that when they say, if you know, you know, you're like, ID, whatever
I
it
don't
was.
know, but I want to know.
All right. And then that's pretty much it, except for BFFR.
Be for effing real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
BFFR.
be effing for real. Be effing for real. We
I
can't.
think
We
either
don't
way
want to
would
say the
work.
F word. Yeah.
Yeah. All
I
right.
do
There
love
you
the F
go.
word though. I wish I could. We could technically say it, but it's not appropriate. We try to be family friendly.
It's so convenient and you can be used so often in so many ways.
I love it.
It's
I
a
do
it's a
love it.
it's a very useful swear word.
Efficient. It's an efficient word.
There you go. Efficient is the word I was looking for.
Okay.
So we mentioned that you are going to be going to Lake Roosevelt tomorrow, and you're going to come back, I think, on Monday afternoon, right?
Yes.
So the concern is that the internet, and reception up there is not going to be that great, not good enough for us to do a Zoom call. So Jen's like, well, why don't you just have somebody else fill in for me? And I said, because I know that trick. I was like, are you sure that's okay? Are you sure? She's like, oh yeah, that's fine.
And you're like, okay, I'll get Stephen Kilbreath.
Yes.
Like,
Our friend Steven,
okay, well,
who is on King
don't
5.
think about it at all, Kurt. I'm not easily replaced at all, but now Kurt has a new co-host. It's Stephen Kilbreath.
I don't have a new co-host. We have a fill-in co-host for 3 days. You cannot be replaced. How's that?
Why don't we tell our
YCNBP. YCNBP. You cannot be replaced.
Why don't we tell our old employers that?
Well, they disagreed. Yes. So Stephen Kilbreath will be joining the show tomorrow while Jen's going on why doesn't it say glamping? Jen's going on a camping trip. You said you don't camp, you glamp.
Well, I do, especially now with Pat because he's got a motorhome, so it's the way to go.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. So, all right. So, and have a great time on your trip, Jen. And you'll be back in full force on Tuesday, I guess, then. In the meantime.
You want me to mention, I have this in parentheses on the thing. You and I talked about this and we talked about it at dinner last night.
What's that?
Pat's son David is going to be staying in the motorhome with us.
Oh yeah, I remember this conversation. This is funny. This is
And
good.
so Pat and I were like, we're not going to be able to have any intimate time at all because
Yeah,
David's
what if you want to have some
there.
adult time?
And I'm like, we need some kind of code word. He's like, yeah, we need to have some kind of code word that when like we're all sitting around, like doing something, like, you know, just hanging out. Because we're camping with friends and everybody has their like different campgrounds. We're not like necessarily all together. So we might travel down to Scott and Gina's camp and hang
Hmm.
out there. And it's like, we need a code word so that like you go back and then I'll go back. And
So
I
I,
said,
but
well, how about like, or no, maybe he said, I can't remember what it was, but we were making fun because I'm like, well, it can't be something like, I
we
need
get time
help
to go. We got,
cutting the pineapple because by the end of the trip it'll sound like we have a pineapple orchard at our
that's
place.
right. And of course, people have ones that are very suggestive and probably a giveaway, like, because you're going to be in the RV. It's like, well, we got to go check the dipstick. That's too obvious. So you need to come up with a code word. So is this going to get you guys away from David? How do you get him out of the motorhome?
Well, we're not trying to get David. I don't think David listens because I
That's
hope
right.
no
Well,
one coming on this camping trip listens.
the
However,
camp.
no, I think that there, if there's an opportunity where people are all hanging out and David's, of course, hanging out with the group, then
Hmm.
I'll go back and then Pat will go back and then
Right. And
that's
it's
it.
got to be a way to get away from it. You can't say it's time to stoke the fire because obviously that's right there.
Yeah, so if you've got a good one for me, you can just send me a message on like Facebook. I'm under Jen Pirak. Just
Or
find
you
me.
can put it
Send
up
me a
here. We
message.
don't
Say, here's
care.
a good one. Here's
What do you even call that thing? A code word excuse to get away for some snuggle
Lovin.
time. Yeah, some sweet loving. That's what you need. And I agree with you. Say, let's go chop some pineapples. Like, you don't have any pineapples.
Or how many pineapples do you have in there?
A whole orchard. All right. So your suggestions on the code word to get Jen so she can have some fun time with Pat.
Oh my gosh. Because we can't go when we're leaving today and we're not coming back until Monday. That's a long time.
Maybe you have to have multiple keywords or code words. Let's go check the air and the tires, huh?
Oh my God.
No,
Okay.
no.
Anyway, we hope you have a great day.
Yes,
Have
absolutely.
fun with Steven when I'm gone.
We will, but you'll be missed.
And you guys I hope you still say this at the end of each thing. And I hope you exercise this. Make good choices, find joy, and spread kindness. Have a good one, you guys.